Hello everybody, welcome to the start of another reading vlog. This week we do have a readathon to go through the week, and it's the Romance Takeover Readathon, I believe is what it's called, and it's dark versus light. And I'm going to leave links to everything down below. I don't have it immediately in front of me, but I know it's hosted by Jen from Book Refuge and a bunch of other booktubers that I follow. So I will leave, I think there's like 4 or 5 of them. So I will leave a link to everybody down below. I know they're doing daily reading sprints on everybody's channels, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a whole bingo board, where is it? So you pick if you want to be light or dark, and then there are prompts to go with each one. I, of course, if you haven't guessed, chose dark. So let me see this. Where's my list? There it is. The prompts for that are captive romance, mafia, forced marriage, reverse harem, stalker, motorcycle club, taboo, a priest romance, a dark academia, a psychopath or serial killer romance, an assassin romance, and a bully romance. So the books that I picked, I'm not going to get through all of them this month. We know if I read 2 books in a week, that's an achievement. So I'm trying to pick shorter books or novellas that I can fill in for some of these. But a few of these I don't actually know what prompt they're going to fit under, if they will fit under any at all. So I'm just going to pick a bunch of books that I want to read. And then as I read them, we'll see where they happen to fall on my bingo board. So for Captive, I'm going to pick Lotus by Jennifer Hartman. This is the book about, if you've read Still Beating, you don't have to read it. You don't have to read Still Beating before you read Lotus. But the character from Lotus, I think his name's Oliver, is mentioned briefly in Still Beating, and because you kind of have an idea of what happened to him. So now we're getting his story. I don't think in the book itself, I don't think he's currently like a captive, but he was for his entire life. He was kidnapped as a young child and spent his entire life in captivity. So I feel like that it's close enough. It qualifies. No one's going to be policing this. So we're just going to go with that. Again, these are going to be, if they fit into other categories, I'll shift them around, but this is kind of what I'm picking for now. For Mafia, I picked, it's over there. I don't have any of these books in my hand except for one, so sorry about that. I'll just put the picture on the screen. For Mafia, I'm going to pick Ghost by A. Zivarelli, which is the 3rd book of the Boston Underworld series. That is Alexi and Talia's book, and which I'm excited to finally read. I did see Jess wasn't as impressed with it as the other 2 books in the series, but we'll see how it goes. For Forced Marriage, Bound by Honor by Cora Riley. That's also Mafia. That's a mob family thing with Arya and Luca, who do show up when I read the Kimura Chronicles, Twisted Loyalties. They do show up in that one. I don't have anything for Reverse Harem or Stalker. I was looking for a couple different choices for Stalker, but nothing really jumped out at me. So we'll see if I end up finding something or get a rec from somebody. MC, I have to read Stone Princess and Noble Prince before the 10th, and this vlog goes to the 7th. So if Stone Princess I can count as MC because it's part of the Clifton Forge series, which is an MC series by Devney Perry. Now this one, of course, is the one that's least MC of all of them, but it's still part of the series, so we're gonna count it. I don't know what other tropes are in there. I just know it's Presley and some actor, I forget what his name is. An actor shows up in town and they have a romance. So I don't know what tropes are going to show in it, but we'll fit it, like I said, we'll fit it in as we do. Taboo Romance, I'm going to pick Sin and Ink by Naima Simone. This one is, I think the only thing taboo about it is it's his dead brother's wife, I think, is the romance. Something like that. Other than that, I don't know anything else about the book, but I know I just got it, so it's short enough that I can probably fit it. Priest Romance, that one I'm going to read is Beautiful Sinner by, I think it's Sarah, yes, it is Sarah Kate, which is actually the second, I think the first book is Beautiful Monster, but I think you can read them as standalones as far as I know. Oh, it's a standalone age gap series. Yeah, so Beautiful Monster and then Beautiful Sinner is a priest one. So we're gonna read that one because it seems short enough. All of these are on, well, most of these are on KU anyway. I do have a couple that I have physically, but for the most part, as long as it's on KU, we're good. Dark Academia, I don't know. That seems more new adult YA to me, and I'm just like not really into that right now. So I'm kind of like not really looking for anything to fit into there. If something does, then great. If not, then I'm not worried about it. Psychopath Serial Killer Romance. This is what I have with me because I was going to start reading it today. Is Born Darkly by Trisha Wolfe. I know this one is a criminal psychologist and a convicted serial killer. It's their romance. This is the first of the Darkly Madly duet. I only have the first book, but I'm gonna definitely start reading that today. And then Assassin, I actually have to check to see if this is available. It should be available on KU. So this one is also a little bit longer. It's still just barely 300 pages, but it's The Hitman by Katrina Jackson, which is technically it's the second book of her The Family series, which I think is also a Mafia series. But I think the first book is Beautiful and Dirty is the first book. And I think that's like more of like a novella type situation. Let me, it's only 77 pages. So if I have enough time, we'll see where I'm at and what order I read things in. If I have enough time, I'll read this first and then go into The Hitman. But, The Hitman is on that. And then I don't have a bully. I mean, I have bully romances, but like they're longer on the longer side. So I don't have any to prompt for any of these prompts. So those are the 8 books that I have on my list to read this week. I am not going to get through all of them. There are only 7 days in a week. And that would require me to read more than one book in a day. And we're already on day 2. So that gives me 6 days left. It's 1 o'clock. So I would have to finish this today and like a whole other book. And then see, no. I mean, I am off Thursday. I have all day Thursday. Well, most of the day Thursday that I can read all day long, as far as I know. But plans can change. And then I'm off Sunday. But Sunday is the final day of the readathon. So, I mean, I could see how much I can cram into Sunday. No. But Sunday I have plans. And I probably won't be home like all day. So we'll see. I am going to check to see if any of these are on audio on my Hoopla. And then I can probably get through them a little bit faster. But I really don't. I'm not holding my breath to get through all of these. I definitely at least want to do Born Darkly. I want to read Stone Princess, definitely. And then if I can, and I actually really want to read Beautiful Sinner too. So if I can get through those 3, I will be very happy. If I just get through the 2 and I don't get to Beautiful Sinner, that's fine. Like I anticipate that. But again, we will see where the week takes us. Like I said, it's 1 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon, day 2 technically of the readathon. So I'm going to I just got home from work. I worked 3 to 11 a.m. today, but I didn't get home till like after 12. I ate lunch. And now I think I'm going to hop in the shower real quick, take a shower, because I feel kind of gross. It's like 90 degrees outside today. The next few days are going to be horrible, the heat. But, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to start reading as much of this as I can, and then I'm going to try to edit. I edited pretty much everything except for last week's vlog, so I'm going to try to edit last week's vlog, see where it's at, and then I'm going to read as much as I possibly can today. And, so then tomorrow I'm going to work early, but I might try to stay my normal time so I can get some extra hours in, but then I can read all afternoon I always want to stay up late and read if I'm off the next day, but like it never happens because I'm so tired and I'm used to going to bed at a certain time that I just end up passing out anyway. So anyway, again, wish me luck for this week. We'll see how the week goes as we go along. But all right, all up to you guys later on.
We need to talk about this book. I'm sorry if the lighting sucks and that this video quality is terrible because my camera is dead and currently charging, and I don't have the patience to wait for it to have enough battery for me to do an update because it's late. I need to go to sleep, and I just finished this, and this was fucked up. And I can't tell if, I mean, I gave it 4 stars, but I'm like, is it a fucked up in a good way or a bad way? I don't know. I can tell you it made me very uncomfortable. There is a scene in here that is like one of my worst, absolute worst fears. I think for a lot of people it's probably a similar fear, and I'm just like, this is very unsettling for me to read. It wasn't as terrible as I was expecting it to be. Not the book, but like that scene. I was like, oh no. Like as soon as I realized what he was gonna do, I was just like, oh no, I don't know if I can handle this. But it was unsettling, but at the same time it was like the way that the heroine navigated the situation was a little bit, it was almost calming in a way, because I'm not gonna, like, I don't want to give spoilers, but like the way she reacted didn't make me like even more upset about what was happening. But this gave me, so there's a scene toward the end. If you guys have seen the movie Untraceable with Diane Lane, there's a scene in this with a tank of water, so to speak, that reminded me that there was a scene in this book that reminded me of that, kind of. And I was just like, because I was just imagining that scene as it was happening, and I was like, oh, I can't. But this was a wild ride, and the primary reason I gave it 4 stars was because there was a lot of like psychobabble and internal monologuing and internal reflection and internal, like, just, and I understand that's what the purpose of this was, because both characters are facing some terrible inner demons, and it's just that he is aware of his and takes control of it, whereas she is still struggling to come to terms with things that have happened to her in her past. And his whole purpose is to try and help her release some repressed memories that she has that are really very traumatic. And he knows who she is, and knows that she is suppressing the truth, like who she really is. And it's a fascinating book. But like, and like the psychobabble, as like boring as it was, I was also very, like, at the same time it was fascinating to read, because it was like the author like did like research on this. There were terminology in here that it reminded me a lot of Criminal Minds, just like that kind of talk and the assessment of like psychoanalyzing everything, and there's the terminology she used, and I was like, it's interesting, but at the same time I'm like, it felt like I was slogging through it for a while in the beginning, until something happens that picks up toward like the middle-ish of it. I mean, it's not a long book, it's only 240 some pages. But yeah, after like the middle point, things pick up, and I'm like, okay, now things are getting good. And this is a duology. I don't have the second book, but I'm gonna order it at some point. I have interest in reading it and seeing how it all plays out. It ends, it's not really a cliffhanger, but some things aren't resolved, so you kind of want to know what happens with the couple after the ending of this book. So it's an interesting book for sure. So I definitely recommend this. I would just go into it. Please definitely look up trigger warnings beforehand. He's a serial killer, and see a few of his murders. And then you learn about her past and the situation she grew up in. So there are a lot. I mean, it's dark. It's a dark romance, obviously. There are a lot of dark things in here, triggering things in here. I mean, that wasn't necessarily triggering for me. I don't really have a lot of like triggers, but it was uncomfortable to read, unsettling to read. That one scene I mentioned earlier, but yeah, so this was good. So I'm gonna definitely keep the second book on my back burner for a later time. Like I said, I don't know what time it was. It's probably like 11:30 now at this point. I'm not gonna start. I'm gonna start reading Stone Princess next. But I'm not gonna start that tonight. Obviously, I'm gonna go to bed.
You see Amber in the corner there, and the little black kitty is Brina. What are you doing? And then there's Sophie down there. I realize I don't show my puppies enough. Probably should. I mean, you can probably hear them in a lot of my videos. I know they walk around a lot of the time. You can usually hear their collars jingling. So they're always around somewhere. I have enough animals that like to hang out. There's 2 in the hallway. Tyler just went downstairs, and then Brina's still hanging out in the doorway there. But yeah, I have a lot of pets. I inherited a lot of pets. Anywho, it's 1 o'clock on Saturday. I am currently 54% of the way through Stone Princess, which is Presley and Shaw. I think it's Shaw Valance. He's an actor. So I would definitely recommend reading this series in order, because the events of the first 2 books he's in town shooting a movie based on the events that happened in the first 2 books. So you kind of have to know the backstory to get this book. So I definitely recommend reading these in order. But this is Presley and Shaw. Presley is like the office manager for the Clifton Forge, the garage. And then Shaw is the lead actor in the movie and producer and whatever. He's in town. And it's interesting because I know when they did the live show, someone was saying that this is like the least MC of the series, which I definitely agree with. And I was kind of like, oh no, this is gonna be so boring. I'm just gonna drag it out and be bored. But I'm actually really liking it. Like, I read a big chunk of it in one sitting, and I don't know if it's just because I'm like in a reading mood and like I'm just want to read everything, and everything is good for me right now, or I don't know. I'm just invested. Like, Presley is such an interesting character. We still don't know. We kind of have hints of her backstory, that she came to Clifton Forge when she was 18, and then she started working immediately for the garage, and she's been there ever since. For 10 years, I think she's been working for the garage. And then we have Shaw, who used to be he was a cop. So his dad was a cop, and he followed in his dad's footsteps and went to the academy and became a cop. And then after a bus incident happened, he ended up there was an incident that happened, and then he ends up learning something about his father that turns him to acting instead. And it's really interesting, like, backstories that they have. And I'm like intrigued. Like, I honestly don't like it seems like it's going, like, there's nothing like overly exciting or thrilling happening right now. Like, we're just kind of like going day to day. It's a little slow, but not so slow that I'm like bored. I keep reading. I'm just interested. I'm invested. And so I'm wondering, because there's still 50% left, I'm wondering if something's like gonna happen with Presley's, her ex-fiance, because that was the whole thing at the end of the last book. So I'm wondering if something's gonna happen with him, because he ended up getting involved with the rival motorcycle club. So I'm waiting for something like that to happen, because there was an incident with Leo, that may have stirred up, it might be a catalyst for some things. It may have stirred up some trouble. So I'm waiting to see if something happens with that. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. That's my plan for this afternoon. I'm going to, actually, I'm going to try to, we'll see. I did upload the footage from last week's vlog. I need to edit that still, because I want it to go out on Monday. I'm kind of getting a set schedule, sort of. I'm trying to keep it where my vlogs go out from the week before goes out on Monday, or it's kind of like 2 weeks behind. Goes out on Monday, and then I'll have like a random video on Thursdays. That seems to be okay, like going my two. It seems to be working out for the next couple weeks. I have a video for Thursday, and then my vlog goes out on Monday. But we'll see if I can keep that streak or not. We'll see what happens. But so yeah, I'm gonna try to see what the footage is like for that last vlog, edit it a little bit as much as I can, maybe do a rough edit until I go stop, and then I'll finish reading this, and then shower, and then hang out, and I don't know. That's all my plans are for today, really. And then hopefully I can finish that today, start Beautiful Sinner, and call this vlog a win. So far, most of these vlogs, I think all of these vlogs that I've been doing have been winners. I mean, the one book hasn't always been great, but I've been reading, at least 2 books a week, which is phenomenal for me because y'all know I read maybe 1 a week, if that. But it's been really good. It's been really good reading week at the expense of my writing, but I'm working on it. We're working on a nice balance of things. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I've been talking for over 10 minutes again. So I will update you guys, hopefully when I finish this book, give you my thoughts on it, and then start the next one.
All right, y'all are in my kitchen cabinet right now because once again, I left my camera upstairs, but I'm going to do an update anyway because I just spent the last, hour and a half sitting down in my living room finishing Stone Princess by Devney Perry, and I'm giving this 5 stars. I honestly, aside from my last update, when I was saying that I was kind of like, it felt like it was a little bit slow, but like even though it felt like it was slow, I wasn't bored. But I'm also trying to cut. Went to the farmer's market today and got a loaf of garlic Asiago bread. I'm gonna try to make a grilled cheese with it, but I need to cut it first. I liked this, and as I suspected, I kind of was like, okay, I know the next book because I looked ahead is Scarlett's book. So I'm like, well, she's got to come in at some point. She does. And then I'm like, well, this whole thing with Jeremiah, her ex-fiance, didn't feel completely resolved, especially the way the last book ended. And we get like glimpses of him like trying to like get in contact over stuff, but she kind of just like blows him off. So I'm like, well, this is going to come to a head at some point. It does. But it was like, that's kind of where like the MC element of it came in. Like for the most part, this book was not an MC motorcycle club book like the rest of them, but like that part toward the end brought it back to that, which also sets it up for the next book. So I'm kind of liking how this series is going, where the books are kind of like coupled together. Like you see like information and plot, like an overall idea of what happened in the previous books comes along with you throughout the whole series. But for the most part, like the first 2 books went together because it was the events that happened in the first book that led to what happened in the second book. And now we have Stone Princess, where the events that ended in this book, I'm assuming are going to be like the aftermath is going to be the next book, because the next book is, like I said, Scarlett's book. So I'm liking how she's doing it. And I know so I'm also curious to see how the last 2 books are going to be set up, because the last 2 books are the last 2 guys of the Tin Gypsies, which are Leo and Emmett, I think are the last 2. And so I'm be curious to see how theirs maybe intertwine. But I'm really excited to read Emmett's book because I read enough of the synopsis of that one to know who the love interest is. I don't remember who the love interest is in Leo's book, but Emmett's is the one I'm really excited about. So I'm really liking the series so far, and like I said, it's been a really good. I cut my bread. I cut it too short. It's been a really good reading year for me so far. Like I just finished my 43rd book of the year. That's like insane. I read 37. I think the most I read the last few years was 37 books.
So I'm real excited. It's like 8:30. I'm just now making dinner because I wanted to finish this so bad. And I kept getting distracted, of course, because I had my phone and I had people texting me and things going on. So I'm going to make myself a quick grilled cheese sandwich for dinner with my Asiago bread. And then I think I'm going to start Beautiful Sinner. I don't know how much of it I'll get done, but I know we're going early out of town tomorrow, so we should be back early, like not too far into the afternoon. I know we're going at like 8. Most of the stuff doesn't open till 10, 11 o'clock, but I know there's only a few places we want to go, and then we want to stop on a couple places on the way home. And I just realized I read 2 like celebrity romance is back to back, because I read the last book I read in last week's vlog was The Bodyguard, and he was a big time Hollywood actor, and then in this book he's a big time Hollywood actor. But yeah, I actually liked them both equally because they both had similar vibes, and similar, like they preferred the small town life to like the big city Hollywood life. And they both had kind of, I mean, Jax was a lot more, from The Bodyguard, was a lot more tragic, his past, than Shaw's was. Oh my god, I almost forgot his name. But still, like, they were, I don't know, I don't want to say they were like too alike, that it was like a cliche. It became, I don't know, a cliche sort of type of actor, like a famous person who doesn't really care all that much about the spotlight. Okay. But I don't know. I liked it. It didn't really bother me at all. But like I said, I think I'm gonna keep saying this. I'm in a good reading mood. Like, things aren't completely bothering me like they probably would if I was kind of like not enjoying it. I get annoyed a little bit with Presley and Jeremiah when he was kept bugging her. Not so much as in when I was reading, I think it was Tragic, the heroine in that book with her damn ex-husband. He was freaking annoying, and she was annoying for letting him constantly get back in her life. But that was in that last week's vlog, so we don't need to talk about that anymore. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I've been talking a long time already. I don't know how much memory's on my phone, and my thing already popped up and said I had like less than 10% left of battery. So I'm gonna make my sandwich. I'm gonna go upstairs, check in on the computer just for like a minute, and then I'm going to start reading Beautiful Sinner, and I'll probably talk to you guys if I don't have another update like in the middle of that. I'll probably talk to you guys when I'm done reading that to round out this vlog. Oh, and by the way, I just have to point out that the epilogue in this book was adorable, and I swooned, and I was just, because we got to see Isaiah and Shaw as being like dads, like real dads, and I'm just like, oh, my heart can't take it. I love it so much. So that was something I needed to see, and it was freaking adorable. So I had to say that before I forgot about it.
It's Sunday night. Hopefully the end of this vlog is nigh. My dog is playing with her with her puppy. Hi, silly girl. What are you doing? And then if you want to see Tyler, he's there on the chair. Can you see him? Hi, Tippy. Tyler. Oh. And then there's Miss Sophie there. Okay, so I just did like 3 hours of reading sprints with Tori, which I was really excited to see that she was doing those, because I was like, oh yes, I need some sprints to keep me focused. So she did like 4, I think, reading sprints. I think it was 4, and I read through 3 out of the 4 of them. The one of them I used to make thumbnails finally for the 2 videos going up this week. So last week's vlog, and then I have another one, like a random in-between video going up on Thursday. So I made the thumbnails for them finally. And then I got to about 30 8, I think, percent of Beautiful Sinner by Sarah Kate, and I don't know how I feel about it. So I'm enjoying, it's set in Ireland, which I'm loving. I think I knew it was set in Ireland, but I forgot. And I like I love the name Callum for some reason, for like an Irish character. I just, because I think, I haven't read it yet, but All Things Burn by, oh my god, Jodie Slaughter, I think is her name, the author. He's also, his name is Callum as well, so I'm like, I like that name for characters. Like I said, I don't know how I feel about it. So I like that part about it. I'm wishing, things seem to be just getting like glossed over, like plot wise. There's not really a lot going on. And I'm kind of wishing that this isn't long. It's like 250 pages, so it's not long at all. I'm hoping I can finish it tonight because I really need to finish Noble Prince because the live show is on Wednesday at 8. So I'm hoping, because I'm off Wednesday, so if I have to, I can read it through the day. But I would really like to finish it before that. Because I also want to read my one Brittany C. Cherry book I have before. I know Jess had an author interview with her last week, but it was postponed, which is in my favor because then I can get one of her books hopefully done. Anyway, that's the whole not related rant. But yeah, like I feel like things are just being glossed over. There's not really much happening. Like our heroine, Cadence, which I think is also a weird name for a character. She gets stuck pretty much in Ireland. She's on like a bus tour with some people. I don't know why. It doesn't explain why she's there. She's just, I guess, just on a tour. And then she kind of gets involved with like a group of friends, I guess. Friends. They kind of just, you know, when you meet, like, I don't know if you've ever gone on like a trip like with a group of strangers, but like you kind of find your people that you just like hang out with through the most of the time. Like you just happen to hit it off and hang out with them. So this is what happens. And then she kind of has a thing with one of the guys and he screws her over, takes her credit cards, takes everything from her, and leaves her stranded with nothing in Ireland at this little bed and breakfast that is run by Callum and his sister. And she ends up working there for them as something to do because she's like, well, I'm here until I can get a way home, but at the same time she's like, well, why am I gonna go home with no future for myself? But I don't know, I just feel like it's lacking depth, to be honest. It just feels all surface level, like everything feels surface level. We don't really get a lot of character development, like we don't get to learn really. So this is, again, I'm only 38, I don't know, I'm not quite 40% into the book yet, so I'm hoping we do get some more. But there's really not, because the chapters are super short and there's not really a lot of time spent kind of delving into either one of them. I mean, we don't know why. I mean, she asks Callum why he became a priest and he just said it was Providence. And then like we don't know why she's in Ireland, and I'm just like, it's fine for what it is. I was hoping for a little bit more to it. But I'm enjoying it, and it's going through. It's a fast read because, again, the chapters are really short. So I really don't know what's going to end up happening through the rest of the book. I'm like, what is there to do? Because she's pretty much just spending her time working at the bed and breakfast. They have a barn that has one horse that she's responsible for taking care of and like maintaining the grounds and stuff like that. And I'm just like, it's kind of mundane. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit disappointed that I was really excited to read this. It's my first Sarah Kate book, and I'm just kind of like, it's fine. It's sitting at probably a 3 right now. But we'll see how the end picks up. I mean, they're getting to be some sexual tension between them. But I think I like Callum's character more than Cadence. She just seems very shallow. And she's already slept with 2 random ass people, including the guy that stiffed her, and then some other dude that was staying at the bed and breakfast with his friends. She screwed him too. And I'm just like, And Callum literally the one time sat outside the door and was like, really? Like, you can't have sex with the guests. Aside from the fact that he was jealous about it and punished himself by listening to them. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about it right now. I'm actually going to, it's 7 o'clock right now. I do have to go to work tomorrow, which I don't want to. But I'm actually going to shower and I have to change my load of laundry, and then I'm gonna come back up and read some more. And I really hope I can finish this tonight. I don't know. I don't even know how much time I have left on it. Or do I have 2.5 hours left of reading, which would bring me to 9:30, which will probably be closer to 10 by the time I shower and switch my laundry. So, but anyway, I'm gonna go and do that, get that done, and then I will come back and close out this vlog once I finish Beautiful Sinner and let you know my thoughts on it. Hello, I'm here to finally close out this week's vlog for the Romance Takeover Readathon. I realized I was not saying which prompts the books that I was reading covered, and I have to say that I think only one of them really fell into like the dark category. I really don't think Stone Princess was all that dark, and Beautiful Sinner definitely wasn't dark, so I probably are more on the light side of it, but I don't remember, I didn't write the prompts down for the light side, so I don't even know what they would cover. But anyway, I finished Beautiful Sinner. We'll talk about that first. I still stand by what I said in my last update, that I think it was just very surface level, and we didn't get enough depth, in my opinion, into the characters, especially into any of their backstory. We don't really learn anything. I mean, at the very end, you learn something about what happened to Cadence when she was a teenager, but like, it's not until almost 75% in that you realize that, like, she has this secret that happened. Like, where was that the whole rest of the book? Like, it didn't really have, it just kind of felt just thrown in there because of the trope that happens at the end of this book. Like, it just kind of, all of a sudden it made, these other things were popping up to make it make more sense, I guess. I don't know. And we don't really learn a lot about Callum. I guess I always think that, I read a couple priest romances, and I always think that the reason for becoming priest is like something dark that just, it leads them that way because they really have no other option, or it's just something tragic happens in their life and that's the route they took. I suppose it's fine that he just felt like that was he was a reckless 20-something-year-old with no direction in his life, so he decided to pick God. Nothing wrong with that. Also a little boring. So I don't know, I wanted more in depth, and it's making me realize, so I ended up giving this 3 stars, and it made me realize, I went back and I looked at my review for Priest by Sarah Simone, and I'm like, I gave that 2 stars back then, and I'm thinking, why? That has a lot more depth and dark and gritty stuff going in it than this one did, and I gave this one 3 stars. So I bumped my review for Priest up to 4 stars. And I really do think I need to reread Priest, because I do now have the physical copy somewhere. And I remember it was like the first like ebook I read, and that was back when I was like really not into reading on I think I was reading on my phone, and I remember I was so bored that I had to renew it 3 times in order to finish it. And I was just like, I wasn't impressed. At the time, I wasn't all that impressed with it, and I was getting really bored, and it was taking me forever to read. And I'm just wondering if it was because I was suffering a really terrible reading slump, because I feel like the story sticks with me, and Tyler Bell as a character sticks with me. So I'm thinking that I need to go back and reread that and reevaluate my thoughts on it, which I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I definitely want to do it. I also want to be able to get Sinner and Saint before the original covers are no longer available, because I heard somewhere that they're doing away with those covers with the men on them, and they're doing like the discreet covers, I guess, that are like flowery, and I'm like, I don't like them. I want the original covers. So I have Priest, and I need to just get the other 2. I don't know if I'll get Midnight Mass. It's just a little novella, but we'll see. We'll see if I come across it somewhere. Anywho, yeah. So, and like the trope at the end, the thing that happens at the end, I was just like, eh. It felt just, I don't know, I didn't feel it. The steam was really good. The spicy scenes were great. But other than that, I didn't really care a whole lot. And I'm sorry to say that. I still want to try to read more by Sarah Kate because I know everyone loves her. So I'm definitely going to pick up Praise. I really am interested in that one. But anyway. So yeah, so that was that book. So I read 3 books this week for the readathon. I read Born Darkly, which falls under Captive, kind of. I think it does. It falls under Taboo, sure, because it's a therapist and a client. And it also falls under Psychopath Serial Killer. So that falls under those 3. Then I read Stone Princess, which isn't really considered dark, but it's an MC romance, so it falls under check MC romance. And then I read Beautiful Sinner by Sarah Kate, and that was definitely a taboo romance. It's also a priest romance. And that's pretty much all of the only thing else falls under. It was a big age gap. There was like a 20-year age gap. So I don't know if age gap might have been under the light section, but yeah, but their age gap, that was probably one of the bigger age gaps I've read. Because he was 44 and she was 24, I think. I think it was a 20-year age gap, which is one of the bigger ones. But yeah, so that's it. This reading vlog is over. And I'm going to, it's still early, it's like 10 after, quarter after 7, something like that. But again, it's Monday, so I have to go to work at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. So I'm actually going to get ready to go to bed soon. They are going to be doing reading sprints tonight on, I think, Jess's channel at 8, which is, they usually do them for about an hour. And if they stick with the hour, then I'll probably participate. But if it goes any longer than that, then I'm not going to go past 9 o'clock because I need to go to bed. But it's quarter after, like I said, it's quarter after 7. I'm done with my book. So I'm going to start Noble Prince for the reading sprints tonight. And then I can probably get that done. I'm probably going to end up falling asleep tomorrow afternoon when I get home. But I'm definitely going to get that done on Wednesday before the live show on Wednesday night. So I should be fine with that one. And then we'll see what I pick up after that. I had an idea and it totally just left my brain what I wanted to read next after I finished Noble Prince. So we'll see what I decide. Oh, bless you. Anyway, those are my plans for the rest of tonight. It is disgustingly hot. It has been for like the past week. I'm thinking the heat's supposed to break, I think, Wednesday, hopefully. But it's gross right now. I just feel disgusting and my hair is constantly frizzy. I mean, it's frizzy anyway, but this heat is not helping at all. And I have to vacuum like so bad, and I don't want to because it's so disgusting and hot. And I only have like window air conditioners, and my house is old, so I don't have central air or anything fancy like that. So it's just window ACs that I have to suffer through. But anyway, could be worse, right? I could have no AC at all. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna go and do whatever my plans were for the next 45 minutes before the live show starts. Pretty much get ready for bed. I think I'm gonna watch the live show in my bedroom. That way if I fall asleep, I'm already in bed and ready to go. So I'm gonna get the dogs all set up and get ready for bed. And then that'll be it for tonight. And I will start tomorrow's vlog, or next week's vlog tomorrow, and we'll see what I read then. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you are like enjoying these vlogs. I don't know, I like making them. I think they're fun. It gives me some content to produce throughout the week if I have nothing else planned or lined up. So it's just, at least it gives you consistent video every week. But yeah, let me know if you guys are enjoying these or not. I mean, whatever. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching all the way to the end. If you have, this might be a little bit longer. I know last week's was only 36 minutes, which was pretty good, but this one might be a little bit longer. I don't know. I still have a couple clips saved on my phone I need to import into my phone, into my laptop. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a great week. If you're in this heat wave, please stay cool, drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, and I'll see you guys next week in my next video. Bye!